everyone, it's me ER and welcome to Vlogmas. Okay, so for today's Vlogmas video, I will be sharing with you guys how I store my polymer clay and polymer clay supplies. So if you're interested in this video, let me know by the comments below or like this video, and let me know in the comments if you have anything that you want to see related to polymer clay. So let's start first by how I store the supplies that I have. First thing is, in this shelf I have different smaller drawers like these, which are plastic drawers that you could find if you live in the Philippines. They could be found in Ace Hardware, Handyman, SM department stores, Robinson's department stores, and other malls. These are readily available in those storage supply places. So what I did is I actually bought a couple sets and just staggered and stacked them up together to whatever preference I have. On this bottom shelf, I have actually 4 shoe boxes which are translucent or transparent that I use to store my polymer clay. I like it because I can see what color is in the box, and I like it that it's also portable, so I could take them out instead of having them in drawers like these on top. And then I also have these small containers, which I will show you later, which has some random stuff in there as well, which are smaller than clay bars. And then I also have these ones, which also has small dividers that I use, which has metal findings in them. I also have some Tupperware or storage boxes there that house other polymer clay items. So these are the different plastic containers that I have in my room for polymer clay. Alright, so let's begin. The top part of this shelf has this medicine box that I use for my medicine. I just put it there because it's the perfect spot to put them. And then I also have an extra box which I use for storage whenever I am going to workshops and going to bazaars, and I put my tools in there. So I bring that with me. And then this one just houses paper clips and other random metal findings that I could use for polymer clay or for planning as well. I'm not going to open it because I think you can't find this anymore. I got this years ago, I think when I was in high school. Alright, so I'm going to start with the bottom shelf here, which actually houses most of my pliers and tools that I use for polymer clay. It's easier that it's actually here because it's handy for me to take them out whenever I work in my work area over here. So that's the first drawer. The second drawer has random tools that I use. Yes, I have matches there so that I know where they are. And then I also have like sugar particles here, which are for polymer clay. I have toothpicks, I have blades in there, and the needles that I use for texturing. The next shelf has some pastels, which are chalk pastels that I use for coloring, and some brushes in there as well. This drawer has some stamps, mica powders, and some cheap makeup palettes that I could use for coloring my clay as well. Some canes are in here that I use for polymer clay. These are actually polymer clay canes that I bought. And some more brushes that are specifically used for like dusting my clay as well. This drawer has my date stamps or number stamps and my letter stamps in different sizes that I use to personalize polymer clay. I also have some of these silicone molds that I use for letters and making name charms as well. This one is an Oreo mold, which is actually pretty fun to use. So I got that there. And then the top shelf just has my acrylic paints and some clay samples that I could put in there just because there's room. The next drawer actually has my embossing folders that I use both for paper crafts at the same time for polymer clay. I also have embossing folders by Makins in there. I'm not going to take them out, but that's where I store them. It's a perfect fit for this drawer. And then the second shelf has metal findings, keychains, and some chains that I use for bracelets and things like that. I put them in plastic baggies so it's easier for me to store them and it doesn't get all jumbled up. The next drawer has more metal findings, and this one has eye pins and, hold on. There we go. Okay, so this drawer has eye pins, magnets, and what are in here? yeah, just mostly eye pins and head pins as well. The next drawer has more metal findings, which are mainly for earrings. I have like ones with the hooks or loops, and then I have like locks for earrings, and some more jump rings, and some stud earrings as well here. The next drawer has more for keychains. I get these in bulk from my suppliers, and I also have things like for note holders. I have them here like that. Also some more head pins that couldn't fit on top. And then the bottom shelf just has magnets. It also has some fake sugar sprinkles, has some more pastels, and then I think there's some flock in there, and some sprinkles that I actually make and put in plastic baggies that I use for cupcakes and things like that. Cupcake polymer clay, not real cupcake if you're confused. Alright, for this box right here, I actually have an extra lid for these ones because I reconfigured these shelves, or drawers rather. But this one houses a lot of my liquid clay. This one has liquid clay. Here's my translucent liquid Sculpey that I have there. I have glosses that I use for clay, and then I have baby oil, baby powder that I use whenever my hands get too sticky for making with polymer clay, and then I have just random adhesives in there for clay as well. Alright, so this drawer is actually more for stationery. This first drawer just has some random receipts and important documents, and I think at the bottom, yeah, I think I just have some erasers, some markers, and some highlighters that I use for fulfilling orders. And the rain is now getting stronger. The next one has just tape and scissors and pens that I use for packaging. And then over here I have more pens that I use for office work, and then more on this drawer. Alright you guys, so it started to rain a little bit louder, but hopefully it doesn't disturb you guys in this video, and hopefully it doesn't bother you. But I really want to finish this video right now so that I could edit it and upload it for you guys at the same day. So yeah, so let's begin with the bottom shelf. So I had this one, which is actually a plastic container for, I think, kitchen utensils. You could put this in your kitchen and use it for your forks and knives and spoons and things like that. But I actually use it for cookie cutters, which I use strictly for polymer clay. So that's in there, and it also has some of the measuring spoons that I use for clay as well, and a rolling pin that I got from Daiso. And then it also has this container that I have, which also houses some cookie cutters that I use for polymer clay as well, and some piping tips that I use for clay also. I also store ceramic tiles at the sides here, just so that I could easily get them if I need them. I also have 2 boxes full of polymer clay scraps, which I still could use whenever I just need a small amount of clay for my polymer clay supplies. So I got that, and I got this one as well. These are clay that you usually throw away, but I don't, because I could still use it whenever I can. Alright, so this 4 containers here, the first one houses most of my tools that I use for polymer clay. So whatever is in there, it's easier to see because these are transparent. So I have like date stamps, some brushes, dotting tools, toothbrushes that I use for polymer clay alone, and some needles and pins and things like that that I use for texturing my clay. And this one just has some random clay things that I've already made. And then this one, I think, yep, houses more of the polymer clay keychains that I've made for clients. These are samples that I've made. And then this one are some extra supplies for polymer clay beginner's kit that I have for my workshops. And then this one is actually a container, which is also translucent, that I have with me whenever I go and do workshops for students. I put polymer clay supplies in here, examples, are polymer clay metal findings that I use for jewelry. I put them here in small quantities so I could bring them along for me to go. I also have this one that has metal findings in there. Let me try and open it up for you. Alright, so it opens up like this, and then inside I have jump rings and lobster clasps and ball chain keychains in there, which are great for smaller metal findings, and you don't get them lost in your craft area, because those could easily be missing any time of the day. And this one just has more of those metal findings. I have some ring bases and some strings and more metal stuff that I use for polymer clay. Alright, so last but definitely not the least are the storage containers that I use for my polymer clay. First box has yellow and gold. As you can see, I don't have much of those. I still need to get my supplies for next year. This one has blues and greens and shades of darker blues. There they are. These ones has pink and purple and reds. I get my clay in bulk from Philippine suppliers of polymer clay. And then this one has a bunch of my clay for neutral things. So I have browns, blacks, silver, skin tone, and some whites. I almost forgot to show you guys that behind one of these drawers I actually have my pasta maker machine there that I use for conditioning my polymer clay. I just take that out whenever I'm working with polymer clay. Alright, so what I like about this is that this shelf is actually right beside my desk that I usually work on for polymer clay. So it's easily accessible. If I need something, I could easily just grab it from there and then put it on my desk. The oven that I use for polymer clay is stored right behind me. So this is where I store my oven that I use for polymer clay. I sometimes use it to reheat my food, which I really don't mind. I just make sure that I cover it with foil. So I use this not as often as I would like, but I use this for polymer clay, which is actually located in my room as well. So that is it for my polymer clay supplies and tools tour. If you're interested to see more about polymer clay or anything that you want to request to see in this channel, comment down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope you're enjoying Vlogmas. And happy holidays to everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye!